Hi, my name is Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup, and today I'm joined by
Steve.
and we just finished playing Tatsu, which is a two-player abstract game, and it's quite similar to backgammon. So I, in this case, was playing with the white pieces, and Steve had the black pieces. And you've got three types of pieces. So you've got green ones, blue ones, and the all-powerful orange piece. And in terms of moving and things, the white pieces and my pieces are going to be going anti-clockwise around the board, but Steve's black pieces move clockwise around the board. When it's your turn, you roll a couple of dice, just like backgammon, and you're using the two numbers. So you can either sort of combine them to give yourself a 7, and I could take one of my pieces and move it 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that'll be fine. Or I could use them separately, so I could move something 5, then something else 2, or whatever you like. As you're going round, if you land on one of the coloured pieces here, then you can kind of unlock. So you start with a whole pile of pieces locked here, and you can unlock it onto here. Now, if at some future time I'd rolled a 1, 2, or a 3, then I can kind of move this out onto the field. So you need 1, 2, or 3 to get it out onto the field. And there's always a double space on each of these. So, for example, if I was here and I move 4, I could go 1, 2, 3, 4 and sit on my own piece. That's fine. And that's quite powerful because it prevents it being captured, essentially. Now, what do the different colours do? Well, the green piece blocks. So if I rolled enough to kind of move around and land on this piece, then I would block this, and now Steve can't move his green piece. But if I move with a blue piece, if somehow I manage to move a blue piece around on here, then I would capture it. So this one kind of comes off the board, goes into the section here. These are the pieces I've captured. Oh no, sorry. No, yes, it knocks it back to his reserve, if you like, with the blue piece. But the orange piece, if I somehow manage to move my orange piece onto one of these here, then you kind of actually capture and take away your opponent's piece. So when it goes here, they can never get it back. So these ones are gone for good. So the blue pieces knock it back to the reserve, so you have to try and get it out again. The green pieces just pin, but the orange pieces actually capture for good. Now, the object of the game is either you kind of clear the board of all of their pieces back to here, possibly with captures as well, or you capture all of one colour. So in this game, in this case, I think the game ended because I managed to capture both of Steve's orange pieces, and you've only got 2 orange pieces. So if you capture all the orange, all the green, or all the blue, any one of those things will trigger a victory. There's a couple of other little things. So if you are pinned like this and you really want to move this, then you can sort of, when you roll the dice, forego the larger dice and then get it out by just moving 2. So Steve could go 1, 2. Oh, actually he can't because this blocks him, so he wouldn't even be able to do that. But if he had enough room, he could potentially unpin himself like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What do we think?
It's based on backgammon, but if you're not a fan of backgammon because it's slightly abstract, this might appeal to you more. It potentially is slower than backgammon because you're continually going round. There's no... In backgammon, once you've rolled enough dice, and if you take a lot, maybe you prolong the game a bit, but eventually, once you roll enough dice, you're probably going to have this race situation where you're all trying to get your pieces off. Here, if you're both playing very cagey and saving it and guarding your pieces and trying to put them in such a way that they can't be taken or can't be killed, this could go on for a lot longer. So you can try and take risks. Getting those extra colours, getting more flexibility out. So basically, if I've got a choice of capturing one of John's pieces or pinning one of his pieces or unlocking one of my other colours, it's quite an interesting choice because the more pieces I've got available to me, the more options I've got on my turn. So you've got choices. It isn't just about going around. If I can capture, I shouldn't necessarily, because I might move myself into the range of his capturing piece as well. So it's like that. You can get certain situations. For example, if Jonathan's white and he gets a situation like this, if it's on his turn and he kind of pins this, eventually his orange piece is going to come in range. Now, for Jonathan to kill this now, Jonathan would need any 4 and any other number, because he can move this out of the way with the other number and then kill it with a 4. So the pinning pieces, they look quite weak. They look powerful when you say you pin them, they can't move, and then you find out, well, hang on, they can move if they forgo a dice. Well, they're wasting an action to do that. But you can pin them and then bring your orange piece up and then try and get them. It's very unlikely they're going to be able to get you back in return because they've got to forgo the highest dice. If your orange piece is far enough away, they're probably not going to be able to get you back because they're going to have to roll 2 really high dice. So if you like backgammon-ish but want a bit more theme or tactics to the game, or maybe slightly less skill level, because backgammon is quite a skillful game, this might be a game for you.
Rating?
It lasts a bit too long for me, but I do like the idea. 6.5.
Okay. Yeah, I always preface abstract reviews by saying I don't generally like abstract games, but I do actually like this one. This is one of my preferred games because I think you at some point have to take a risk. you know, you can play, like Steve was saying, safe for a certain point, but at some point, if you're going to stand a chance of winning, you really need to take a risk. And obviously, it depends how big a risk you want to take. But I like that. There's a few times where you're kind of like, ooh, what's he going to roll? Is he going to get me or not? And I like that. It provides some sense of danger to the game. It does take a bit too long, particularly if both players are good. They're going to be very careful, very guarded with the moves, and it can kind of drag on and on and on. So that would be the main negative to the game. But I guess that's kind of up to you. If you're both willing to take more risks, it'd probably be a bit more fun. So I think it's solid. I like the decision making in terms of, do you go for the risky capture or do you try and play it safe? They are interesting decisions. So I think it's good. I give it a 7 out of 10. All right, thanks very much for watching. That was Tatsu.